Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Today's Red Mic message, an ordinary Tuesday. I ran across something recently from author Mark Manson that, well, it resonated with me. He wrote, "Everybody wants a transformation. Nobody wants the 100 boring, thankless days it actually takes to get it." Now, that immediately reminded me of my very first Red Mic message I ever recorded. I'd seen a video from a running coach talking about a young woman he was training, and she had just finished eighth in a field of eight. She was devastated. In her mind, all that mattered was that she finished last. The coach looked at her, though, and he said, "You're thinking about this the wrong way." He reminded her that based on her previous races, she had just run the fastest time of her life. She had beaten her personal best by 2 full seconds. So, in that regard, she hadn't lost. She had improved. She was measuring herself against everyone else instead of measuring herself against the person she had been yesterday. Of course, she came up short. That's what you have to do. That's a lesson worth remembering because we do the exact same thing in almost every area of life. We compare our careers to somebody else's promotion. We compare our finances to somebody else's house. We compare our health to somebody else's before and after picture. We compare our marriages, our parenting, our businesses, our leadership, instead of asking the only comparison that really matters. Am I at least a little bit better than I was yesterday? Manson's observation explains why that's difficult because transformation isn't usually dramatic, it's repetitive. It's showing up when nobody notices. It's making one more sales call, walking another mile, skipping dessert, saving a little bit more, apologizing when your pride says, "I don't have to do that." Nobody hands out trophies for these kind of days. Nobody applauds because you made another good decision. Most of the time, they feel completely ordinary. And in fact, often they feel like nothing is happening at all. And that's because progress is hard to see while you're living it. As Manson also points out, though, you usually don't recognize how far you've come until you stop and look back. I know exactly what he means because during the pandemic, as some of you know, my wife and I started to eat better and exercise more. And over several months, I lost 50 pounds. Eventually, though, I hit a plateau. It became really easy to focus on the weight I still wanted to lose instead of remembering how far I'd already come. Now, a little over a month ago, I decided to stop making excuses and recommit myself to the process. And over the last 5 weeks, I've dropped about 10 pounds, and my goal is to lose another 25 or so. And you know what the last 5 weeks actually felt like? Nothing special. There wasn't one workout that changed everything. There wasn't one perfect meal. There wasn't one morning when I looked in the mirror and suddenly saw a different person. In fact, I look at the mirror and I'm like, I I don't see it going anywhere. All of the last month or so was just simply making the next good decision over and over again. And yeah, when I stop and look back, I can see real progress, but living through it, it mostly felt like ordinary Tuesdays. 5 weeks this time, 50 pounds before that, hundreds of ordinary days altogether. And that's true for almost everything worthwhile. Strong marriages aren't built in a weekend. Great leaders aren't developed during one conference. Successful careers aren't created by one promotion. Character's not formed by one big decision. All of these things are formed by thousands of little incremental changes. The danger is that we quit in what they call the valley of invisible progress, that stretch where the work is happening, but the results haven't quite caught up yet. And that's where most dreams die, not because people aren't capable, but because they mistake nothing exciting is happening for nothing is happening. And they're not the same thing. The runner didn't become faster because she won a race. She became faster because of all the miles that nobody ever saw. The race revealed what the ordinary days had already accomplished. So if your progress feels slow, if today feels uneventful, if you're wondering whether all those small, faithful choices are making any difference, keep showing up. Keep making the next right decision. Keep becoming just a little bit better than you were yesterday. Because one day, I promise, you will look back and realize that those hundreds of boring, thankless days were quietly transforming your life all along. And that's today's Red Mike message. Hope you found it interesting. I certainly hope you find it helpful. I hope you're able to use these Red Mike messages in your own life. I'll keep being here every day, Monday through Friday. That's a promise. I hope that you'll keep showing up too. But in the meantime, thanks for being here. And don't forget, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.